Y'all, it is finally the first week of fall and I'm so excited. Fall is without a doubt my favorite season, closely followed by winter. So we are going into like my time to shine, y'all. I love autumn. I love the crisp air. I love the changing leaves. I love the cozy sweaters. I love the pumpkin spice and apple cider. I love fall fashion and I love crochet clothing for fall. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about 17 different items of clothing that you can crochet for fall. Why 17, you might be wondering? I'm not really sure. I just think that 17 is a magical number and fall is a magical time, and so it just felt right. I make videos like this a lot for different seasons and different holidays and different events, but if this is your first time you've seen one of these videos from me, I want to let you know that throughout the video, I will be putting photos of crochet ideas over here. Now, most of these photos will not be my own, but you can find all of these photos and their creators linked in the Pinterest board below. And one of my favorite things about putting together these like ideas to crochet for blank Pinterest boards is that so many of these pins actually link out to tutorials or to patterns or to Etsy links where you can buy the patterns. It's a fun way for me to put all of these ideas in one place and hopefully help you find the patterns and tutorials and ideas that you're looking for. All right, has everyone grabbed their current work in progress that I know you need to be working on right now? And a fun cozy drink? Hopefully you're able to have something that actually feels like fall. Not gonna lie, y'all, it's about 90 degrees outside right now, so I'm not quite feeling like fall, but I am feeling refreshed with my seltzer water. Let's dive in and talk about 17 items of clothing that you can crochet this fall. Number one, let's just go ahead and talk about what I'm crocheting right now, which is just a triangle shawl. One of the things I tried to do for this video was pick items of clothing that felt really accessible to make, things that are more beginner, maybe a little bit intermediate, but nothing that was like too advanced. And that is something that I love about this triangle shawl. If you've ever made a little triangle headband, you can make one of these triangle shawls. And in theory, this shawl could already be done. All I need is just to drape this over my shoulder and I could call it a day. I could put a little brooch, a little pin right here, but I want to keep going with the shawl to make it longer, and I want to actually be able to wrap it around behind my waist and tie it behind my back. It's going to kind of be like a little crop sweater, kind of like a little shawl, just an extra layer for the colder months. It's kind of loosely inspired by like the Outlander shawl, if you know what I'm referring to. I love these like wraparound and tie shawls, and I've always wanted to make one for myself and I never have. And I had this yarn cake that I believe this is a Lion brand, maybe Mandala cake. I'm not exactly sure if anyone recognizes it. Please let me know because I would love to buy more of this, but I got it so long ago I don't have like the label anymore, so I'm not actually sure what this color is, but it's beautiful and I just love the oranges and the pinks and the blues and the greens, and I thought it was perfect for fall. And I love these color changing yarns for a project like this because you don't have to weave in the ends. Once I'm fully done with the shawl, I am thinking about releasing a tutorial for it, so you'll have to let me know in the comments below if that's something that you'd be interested in. Moving on to number two. Number two is a circle shawl. And y'all, this is something that I had like seen, but I never really thought about how they were made until I think it was just our last live stream. One of y'all brought them up and mentioned how easy they were. And I was like, how easy they are. These look so complex. What do you mean that these are easy? But y'all were like, no, you don't understand. These are so much easier than they look. And I started looking into how they're made. Y'all, it's a circle. It's a circle with armholes. And then you decide how complicated you want to do the stitches. Like if you want to make it look like lace and have different textures and different patterns, you can totally do that. Or you can just make a giant circle and leave out the armholes. Like, isn't that beautiful? And honestly, not nearly as complex as I thought it was. I love layers in fall, especially living somewhere like Nashville, Tennessee, where we can still get days in the 70s, sometimes even the 80s, all throughout fall and winter. These little circle shawls are just super stylish and super cute, and just add that extra little fall layer to any outfit without making it too hot. Apparently we're just going through all the different shapes. We started with a triangle, then we went to a circle, and now we're gonna talk about a square. We're gonna talk about the square cardigan or square shawl. Now I've made a bunch of like rectangle cardigans on my knitting machine. I literally just make a big rectangle and then I fold each corner to itself and sew up a little bit, and that becomes your armholes, and it kind of wraps around you, almost like a little shrug, a little shawl, a little cardigan. So easy to make, especially on the knitting machine. It takes like no time at all, but this is absolutely something that you can hand knit or hand crochet. And a way that I had never seen this done until I was researching for this project was these granny square ones. Oh my gosh, I have to make one of these this fall. I know I don't need another fall or winter project because I already have so many on my to make list, but look how cool these are. One giant granny square, and then you just sew together each corner, and that becomes your armholes. And then you can extend the wrists if you want. You can do a cuff around the whole thing if you want, or you can literally just sew together the corners, and then that becomes your armholes and you're done. This is so cute, especially for anyone like me who absolutely loves the granny square stitch and the granny square aesthetic. This is super beautiful, and I think it would also work really, really well with a color changing yarn like this, so you don't have to weave in all of your ends later. And if you don't like doing the granny square stitch, these triangle and square cardigans are honestly perfect for any beginner crocheter. Even if you just know how to do a single crochet, all you have to do is single crochet back and forth until you make a square or you make a rectangle that's big enough to turn into this type of little cardigan, and you're done. You have a cardigan. All you have to do is sew together each of the corners and you are ready for fall. Okay, we're finally moving away from the shapes, I promise. We got the triangle and the circle and the rectangle and the square out of the way, and now we're gonna move on to leaves. The changing colors of the leaves are maybe one of my very favorite things about autumn, and that's partially probably why I am so obsessed with these leaf shawls. I also love that they kind of make you look like you're like a fairy or something, and you have this beautiful big leaf shawl. You can do this in so many different ways. If you're someone who likes to really follow a pattern and do one big project, you could do the singular leaf type of shawl. If you're someone who likes to make the same small pattern over and over and over again, you could make this type of shawl that has like 100 leaves covering the shawl. They're beautiful. I keep telling myself every year that I'm going to make one of these. I don't think that this is my year to make one, but maybe next year. Maybe next year I can start it early and then I can wear it to a fall Renaissance festival. Doesn't that feel like a good idea? Number 5 is another one I keep wanting to make, and another one that is really, really good for beginners. Scarves with pockets. These are so cute. Now I don't know if I would totally trust the pockets to actually like hold stuff, because I feel like for me, I would end up dropping my phone out of the pocket or something. I guess unless you put a button on it. You could put a button on these pockets. Like that'd be really, really cute. Anyways, the reason I like the idea of a scarf with pockets is to have little hand warmers. You can just like put your hands in the pockets and keep your hands warm. And to do this kind of a scarf, all you need to know how to do is a single crochet. Do single crochet and make your scarf as big as you'd want it to be, and then use single crochet to make the pockets and then sew them on. Or you could even just crochet your scarf extra long, fold the ends up over itself, and sew up the sides, and you're good to go. Number 6, sweater vests. Okay, I know I don't need to add anything else to my list for this year, but y'all, I've been getting so into vests this year. I feel like I've been thrifting a lot of different types of like jean vests and just really enjoying styling them. And so when I was researching for this video and looking through all the photos, I just kept seeing different types of crochet vests and sweater vests, and I was like, these are so cute. Some are open, some are closed, some are super long, some are cropped. Y'all know that I love the Pentagon granny square vest, which I do still have one of these that's about 90% done. Maybe we should just finish my Pentagon granny square vest this fall. It's honestly perfect for fall. It's made out of wool. It's beautiful. It's fall colors. Okay, that's the plan. We're gonna finish the sweater vest that I've already started this fall instead of starting another one. But there are so many different types of vests that you can crochet for fall. Number 7. Have y'all ever heard of a granny go-round sweater? I had never heard of a granny go-round sweater. I was looking into just like different types of granny stitch sweaters. I mean, as y'all can tell, I love, love, love the granny square stitch. And I was like, there has to be just like more common ways that people use the granny square stitch to make sweaters. And one of the ways that I discovered is the granny go-rounds. I don't fully understand this concept yet, but it seems like you work from the neck down using the granny square stitch. There are so many tutorials that I found online already for this. I'm definitely gonna be looking more into this. I'll let y'all know how it goes if I decide to do a granny go round sweater this fall, or maybe winter, because I do want to do a holiday sweater, like a red and green, big oversized cozy sweater. This might be the way that I do it. And let us know in the comments, have you ever made a granny go round sweater? Let us know if you have any tips. Number 8 is another one that I have as a work in progress that I started years ago. And y'all, a few weeks ago, whenever we went through all of my boxes of yarn and we added them all to my yarn wall, I found my work in progress for my fairy hood. I love these fairy hoods. They are so beautiful. Y'all know that I love adding whimsy just to like my everyday fits, as well as also dressing for like Renaissance festivals. I feel like a fairy hood is a great way to add a little bit of fantasy flair to your fall look. You can make them more almost like a witch hat. You can make them more like a hood. You can make them as a part of a cape or a shawl. And it's a really, really good way to use scrap yarn because you can change yarn as many times as you want to make it look as magical as you want. I have too many works in progress, y'all, because number 9 is another one that I have as a work in progress, a hexie cardi. Y'all, if you are not familiar yet with the hexagon granny square cardigans, there's a reason they're so popular. I'm sure some people are just like tired of hearing about them by now, but y'all, it is probably arguably the easiest way to make a sweater, but it looks really complicated, but it's not very complicated. I need to do a tutorial. I'm thinking that I'm going to use the second half of the sweater that I'm currently working on to do a tutorial. Let me know if that's something that y'all would be interested in. But I am attempting to use scrap yarn and smaller skeins of yarn that are all in fall colors to basically make my dream fall sweater. So let me know in the comments if y'all would like me to do a video about how to make a hexie cardi. These sweaters are literally made by just making a 6-sided granny square. You basically just start with a 6-sided granny square and you build it out, build it out, build it out. And then when you fold it in half, it creates this L shape. And then you sew up the side of the L, and then you can add on to the sleeves, which is like what I'm doing right now. I'll need to add some in the middle and the back and to the base, but I won't do that until I've made the second half of the hexie cardi. These sweaters are so versatile. You can make them as open little cardigans, you can make them as closed sweaters. People do them with like different shapes in their granny squares down the middle. Like you could do phases of the moon or stars or mushrooms. Oh, I bet you could even do pumpkins for fall. That would be so cute. So like I said, I know these are very popular, but there is definitely a reason why they are so popular. They're very easy, very beginner friendly. Sadly, if you are changing colors like I am every row, you do have a lot of tails to weave in at the end here, but I think it's all worth it. I love these sweaters so much. Do you ever just stare at a crochet piece and try to figure out how it's made because it looks really simple, but then you're like, I feel like I'm missing something? That's how I feel about these granny square ponchos. I think these are just 4 giant granny squares, and then they're all just like sewn together on one side each, and then that's it. And then you can wear them, it seems like, in these 2 different ways. You can wear them where it's like a triangular shape in the front, or you can wear it where it's straight across on the front and the triangles kind of go on your arms. These are really, really, really cute. I think this is probably a very, very beginner friendly project. If you've ever made one of these granny square ponchos, definitely let us know in the comments. I love them. I think they're really fun. I feel like these would also make a really, really good scrap yarn project. If you have a lot of smaller skeins of yarn, you could definitely do some stash busting, make 4 big granny squares, sew them together, and you have a really cute fall poncho. Number 11, a shrug. Y'all know I love shrugs. I made my first little shrug for the Tennessee Renaissance Fair a couple years ago, and I love it. I wear it year round. If you're not familiar with a shrug, it's basically like arms, like sleeves, but then you don't have an actual like shirt that goes with it. It's sleeves, and then they're just kind of attached in the front and in the back. Now, some people make them almost as like a little crop top. Sometimes shrugs will have like a turtleneck or like a collar attached to them, but they're just great for layering on top of things, especially if you live in a place like I do where it does get cold, but it also can randomly get hot again and you need to wear a lot of layers. Shrugs are perfect for that. I love just wearing like a little t-shirt and throwing a shrug on top of it, and then I can be like cozy and warm, and then if I'm too warm, I can just take it off. Number 12. Number 12 is probably the most advanced thing on the list, and this is something that, even though I've been crocheting for like 25 years, I have not tackled yet. Well, kind of. I very, very lightly attempted, but nothing to this degree. Color work crochet for fall. I feel like every time I do one of these list videos, I talk about color work crochet, but I feel like it's because a lot of people don't realize it's something you can do with crochet. People think about it with like embroidery and cross stitch, even with knitting. I feel like it's like more popular, but I feel like not enough people talk about color work crochet. I love these little fall scenes that people put onto their sweaters. They're super cute, and probably one of my favorite ones, and I believe this is an Etsy pattern available on the Pinterest board, is this like Halloween cookie sweater. It is so much fun and so cool, and y'all, maybe that's my goal for 2026. Maybe 2026 will be my year of learning how to color work crochet. Number 13, we are putting all hats into the same category, so let's just go for it with the quirky hats. Obviously, y'all know beanies, y'all know bucket hats. I want to talk about the silly fun hats that you can make for fall. We have pumpkin pie hats, we have pumpkin stitch hats, we have acorn hats, we have mushroom hats, we have witch hats, pumpkin beret, ghost bucket hat. There are so many different types of fun and silly hats that you can make for fall. So why just make a beanie when you could make, you know, a beanie with eyes? Number 14 is one I'm definitely going to make this fall or winter because it's not something that takes a super long time, but it is something that is really, really nice if you are like me and you like wearing Crocs year round and you like wearing skirts. I love wearing skirts. I love wearing Crocs. But then my ankles get a little bit chilly. And so the solution for that, leg warmers. I really, really want to make some leg warmers. I think I'll probably knit my leg warmers and I'll probably knit them in the round. I feel like that's gonna be the easiest way for me to make leg warmers, but I'm not really sure yet. I feel like there's a lot of different ways to make leg warmers. Make them cute, make them you, super customizable and super cozy. Number 15, sweater dresses. Y'all, being a millennial, growing up in the 2000s, sweater dresses were everything. And now that like Y2K era is coming back, I feel like sweater dresses are having a little bit of a resurgence. I don't know if anyone is like layering their sweater dresses over top of their jeans yet, but who knows, maybe this is the year. Now my favorite sweater dress that I have seen crocheted on Pinterest is the granny square sweater dress. This is literally just 2 giant granny squares and then a granny square stitch for the sleeve. No notes. I love these. I feel like you could wear this with jeans and it would just look like an oversized sweater with jeans. Either way, I love a sweater dress moment. I think that they should have their comeback moment and maybe this is the year. Maybe we bring back the sweater dresses with crochet. Number 16 is one that y'all know that I love to do. Adding crochet onto the clothing you already have. Now it's funny because in our Clothes to Crochet for Summer video, we talked about this as a way to make your clothes cooler. So like I had a jean jacket that was like hot pink and super fun, but I never wore it because I don't really wear like super bright colors in the fall and winter, but I don't really wear long sleeves in the summer. So I cut off the sleeves of my jean jacket and I replaced them with crochet short sleeves. And then I wore that short sleeve jean jacket all summer long with my little crochet short sleeves. For fall, we're basically gonna do the same thing, but opposite. Like if you want to take a t-shirt and make it into something that maybe is a little bit warmer, a little bit toastier for fall, add sleeves onto your t-shirt with crochet. I love this so much. I think it's so much fun. I think it's especially a really fun way to upcycle. If you're a regular here, you know that I love upcycling. I love thrifting. I love trying to give something a whole new life. And if you have an item of clothing that you want to give a whole new life, adding crochet to it is definitely a fun way to start. Oh my gosh, I think we are already to number 17. These lists fly by. I've done some of these lists that are like over 100 items. Speaking of which, we are getting close to the holidays. If you need some gift ideas for the holidays, I do have a video on my page of 101 gift ideas. But since I've done these videos that are like over 100 ideas, when I do a video that is like 17 ideas, it just feels so short. It just feels so short. But I hope, even though it's short, I hope y'all have gotten some super fun ideas of clothing to crochet for fall. And with that, number 17 is one that I started last year and embarrassingly enough, I did not finish. And you know what's funny? Digging through all my yarn and all my works in progress, I actually didn't find this project. I actually have no idea where it is. Anyways, number 17 is a spiderweb sweater. Last year we did make spiderweb gloves and I do have that tutorial on my page as well. If you would like to check it out, I will link it below. But these spiderweb sweaters, they're so cool. They're so much fun for spooky season. You can layer them. If you make a white spiderweb, just layer it on top of a black top. If you do a black spiderweb sweater, put it on top of a white top, and you just have a spiderweb sweater. And y'all, making spiderwebs is honestly a lot easier to make than I thought it was. You're just doing a lot of chaining and double crochets, and that's kind of it. But I will put my tutorial for the spiderweb gloves to get you started with spiderwebs below, and maybe you can decide if you want to try making one of these spiderweb sweaters this fall. Well, friends, I think that brings us to the end of another video. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for crocheting with me or knitting with me, crafting with me, whatever you are working on. Now, if you're watching this video and you were thinking, man, I do want to crochet some stuff for fall, but I just don't like making clothes. Don't worry, I got you, because last fall, I actually kind of made this exact video, but opposite. Last year, I made a video called 31 Things to Crochet for Fall that are not just sweaters, hats, and scarves. So if you would like to check out things that you can crochet for fall that are not just wearables, I will link the video here. Anyways, thanks y'all again for hanging out with me and talking crochet and getting ready for the cozy season of fall. If you're new here, welcome to the Sunflower family. My name is Auna. We do new videos every single Monday. Sometimes they're crochet or DIY or woodworking, Renaissance festivals, cat videos, just a little bit of everything cozy and quirky. Hope to see you in the next one.